Can I have roll call, please?
Counselor Lehman. Counselor Matthew.
Here.
Counselor Larson.
Here.
Counselor Kuechly.
Here.
Mayor Swanson.
Here. Reports from department heads, Public Works, Fire and Ambulance.
Just basically here to follow up on last meeting, some of the things we talked about, biggest thing, wage increases. So, but I'd show up again tonight, see if we had enough people and see which way we can go with it. So, I am looking, I would like to see the firefighters' wages this year. We get paid at the end of the year. I think our budget is going to be sufficient to handle that increase. And then the assistant chief and chief wages, again, wouldn't be until 2017. So whoever that ends up being, we talked about again, and for the hours we put in, and you just start looking. I really feel it's a fair wage.
Right. Yep. I think we've got to be equitable with you guys. And with what you're asking, is that kind of what is a norm around here for salaries? Have you looked at other departments?
Yeah, we're splitting ours just because we found, what have we been doing this 5 years or 6 years now? Yeah. One guy, it's hard enough when you split duties. Ted takes care of a lot of the caretaking issues, that kind of stuff. I'll do more of the bookwork stuff, kind of the online stuff and that kind of. And when you split that 50-50, then you have two people to bounce off of, makeup if you're gone for vacation or whatever, and that kind of stuff. Some of the other ones, they're $450 to $500 a month each. I don't know, that's just for the chiefs. I don't know what the assistant chiefs are getting. And then, if you figure in the ambulance directors, they're again, you're $450, $500 a month. And we do both. We take care of, make sure we stay licensed on the ambulance and up to date and current there, along with the fire department stuff, so.
And what's the increase that we're looking for?
We talked and we would like to go to $300 a person, or for the chief, $300 for assistant chief. And that being said, again, we are responsible for taking care of the ambulance. So, whoever are in those positions, they assume not only the fire chief position, but the ambulance director position, which we have to have, so.
So are we looking at making that effective immediately?
No, that, we would like to see that in 2017. Yeah,
next beginning of the year?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we allow them to increase the chief and assistant chief to $300 a month starting in the 2017 year.
Support.
My only question would be, Josh, you talked about, with the elections, you guys may not be holding those positions.
Exactly.
But if somebody else were to hold them, would they also then do just the way you two have been doing it? Running because you don't want somebody to come in as chief and say, hey, how come he's getting, and I'm the chief?
I know in the past what they used to do, that the chief would do more of the fire department stuff, and then the assistant chief took over the ambulance stuff. That would be up to their discretion, I guess. Basically, though, when you figure out the amount of hours and that, they're gonna have to split it 50-50.
And the responsibilities will be equal?
Equal, yes.
It warrants the same kind of a stipend?
Yeah, because like I say, he handles all the in-between stuff, and then I'll make sure all the monthly, along with the Durans and that kind of stuff, insurance, ISO ratings, all that stuff that the city, that we have to do for the city.
Right.
We got timelines and that we got to stick to, so.
Okay.
It's just, we found that it's worked best having both of us kind of 50-50.
Okay.
We can swap in and swap out, and we both know where each other's at, so.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, and one abstaining. Okay.
Again, daytime coverage, this is maintaining, I believe. We had a couple calls last week. We picked up a couple transfers last week. We had a dry spell, which again is good for the community. But last week got back to normal, so I think we ended up in 6-7 calls, a couple transfers. So I think that's here to stay again. We usually get a little lull. So yeah, that's basically all. And then be looking at fall time, probably flush hydrants. So people will see us out and about doing that one more time. That's about all we got.
All right, thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Engineering,
Did we, I talked about the firefighter wages, I know that you guys made the motion.
oh, it was for the chief and assistant chief. You wanted the wages.
The wages for the firefighters, yes.
To go from,
We are currently at $6 an hour. We'd like to see that go to 10. Just to kind of fall in line with the other departments, summer helps, that kind of stuff. I personally, I don't feel $10 is out of line for, you know, again, midnight last night, we were out for getting paged out, so.
now will this also be beginning of next year?
We looked at that, I would think that we would have enough money in our budget this year to, you know, because we do that at the end of the year.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely for sure 2017. I don't know if we want to do something, you know, if we have the money in the budget. I know we haven't been spending a whole lot yet this year.
Not in the fire budget.
So I think for the amount of fire calls and the hours that we got in, I think we'd be able to absorb that just fine.
So make it effective immediately then?
Josh, is that for calls only, or is that training and?
Calls and trainings is how we've done it in the past. I know that's how other departments are still doing it. You know, yeah, do you need $10 an hour to come to a meeting? Well, no, but on the other hand, it might entice some people to keep coming to the meetings and keep their training up to par. You know, that's what we get now. We get people that, you know, they might get busy or that, and it's just, you know, easier to put the fire meeting off. Well, then if they're missing out on something that they need to be signed off on for the year, they're not doing the service any good, so.
Is that just from the fire end of it, or is that both?
That would just be for the fire meetings.
For the fire department?
Just for the fire department, yeah. So, it is, it's that, and I know, like I said, some of the other ones, they pay $10 or whatever they pay, some are 12. But that's meetings, trainings, so.
I'll make a motion that we raise the firefighters' wage to $10 an hour.
Support.
Any other questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
And one
Sorry, one abstention. Any, of course, will not be getting the raise. Attorney,
No report.
long-range plan and zoning.
Sorry.
Coming out.
I can make something up.
Recreation Board. Hello, Dan.
Hi, how are you, Don?
Good.
As you all know, we're looking at that disc golf and developing that area, that rec area, the Judson Pit Recreation Area. I'm in the process of applying for a grant that I'll need a resolution by the city to apply for the funds and accept the funds. The grant is, it's the Laurentian Vision Partnership Grant. It's for reclaiming mine land, repurposing it, landscaping, things like that. And I think you've all seen this was started long ago, the disc golf that they wanted to do. A lot of it's pretty much done. And it's a matching grant, one-to-one matching that we can, mainly our city workers and with our labor, our time, it's really pretty well laid out, the area, so I think we can get the funds to at least get the hardware and the things for the golf course.
So what you're saying, Dan, is in-kind services can also be our portion of the project for a one-to-one grant. Now, when do you have to have this in?
The grant is pretty much, for the most part, done. It's almost word for word like what you guys have had for the last, since 2011 almost. The numbers are a little different because I want to get as much as we can for it. We'll probably, like the original numbers were at like 180,000 because they were over a 3-year time of putting up a pavilion and all sorts of things like that. This year, I'm right around $20-some thousand, just to get the fairways kind of cleared and the baskets put in for the golf course. And
What's the timeline on having that sent in?
sent in?
Yeah.
I have to, it's all done online, so my pre-application goes in by the 9th, it has to go in.
Today is the 6th,
Right,
so we should have a resolution in our packet, but we didn't get a resolution.
Oh.
written.
I didn't know you were
oh,
gonna be presenting and I'm sorry. I don't have a resolution from you.
That's supposed to be the next question.
So, yeah.
We need a resolution.
Right,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, well, do I go and type quick?
I don't know what we can do for this. There evidently was some lack of communication or miscommunications between the three of us
Yeah, I thought-
with regard to this, because I was aware you needed a resolution. And were you talking with Diana about it?
Yeah, we talked, but I guess I thought you were gonna draft one up and
Oh,
I didn't know either, so total miscommunication, yes.
So is there a way around this?
what would be our next number for resolutions? Do you happen to know offhand?
Do we need to have a resolution for a pre-app?
Not for a pre-app.
No.
And that's all the full app is?
really, that's all this is,
Oh, okay.
Is the
yeah,
pre-app.
right.
So can we not just vote to let him go ahead and
And do the
submit
pre-app,
the
yeah.
pre-app?
Yeah.
And then
Right,
when
then
you
we're
go
good.
for it, then we'll have to
Okay.
have a resolution drawn up?
All right, yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we allow Dan to apply for a pre-app for the disc golf course.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right.
Okay. Do you have anything to tell us for the library board, as long as you're here, Dan?
Not, well, I guess we had summer reading was great. We had a lot of readers. The beach itself, that was another thing. We had over 2,300 people in July at our beach, and that's just during the hours that it's open. So, there's just regulars beyond that. It's a beautiful beach. It's used by a lot of people, and that's one thing that this disc golf will help too. It'll kind of build that area up even more.
Now,
So,
Dan, the beach is closed as of
Yep.
last weekend was the end?
Last Monday was their last day for all the summer help.
Now, how about the campground? Did that get much use this year?
The campground, not that much. It was what they're camping outside the pits,
Yeah.
whatever, instead,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another area we gotta advertise better, or,
I think maybe some cleanup there.
Yes.
right,
Doing something with the road.
that road is
Yeah,
horrible.
it is.
It is horrible.
And I thought we were gonna fix that.
I did too.
Yeah.
What's the other list?
Yeah, we got a big pile of stuff to do, so. But yeah, I was impressed after seeing the numbers at the beach of how
Yeah.
many people actually go there and use it, so.
Right. Well, and the numbers seem to be up at the library too.
Yeah.
We've seen a steady incline of
Yeah.
patronage at the library, which is good to see.
Yeah, that's been going well. Kids went back to school, so it was kind of a little quieter day.
Yeah. But you've also
where the
got a
library
reading
is.
club going now up there too, right? A reading group.
Yep,
that-
yeah, we have a book club, and it's going really well too. The Friends of the Library Board have been really stepping up and working together with, I know at one time there was kind of
Bad
They
communication.
didn't work that well together,
Yeah.
but that's been going really well too. So I've been very supportive and helping with everything, so. And that,
All right.
I think that's it.
Okay, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thanks.
Vita, end of the month. Sheriff.
I got the August 2016 law enforcement report. Year-to-date calls for Buhl, 706. Total calls for August was 90. Number of calls handled by Deputy Torner is 48, and then 42 were handled by other Hibbing Sheriff's Office. And And then he had 76 other traffic stops, assist other agencies, and have a total of 132 calls that he handled, so. It was nothing nice.
Very good.
Nothing real critical.
No, I looked through it, nothing too critical at all. The only other thing was the Buhl car, I think 2 weeks ago, he hit a owl on 169 and broke the driver's side headlight assembly. Almost cracked it. So they ordered two so they'd match, and I think they got the aftermarket ones, so they're a little cheaper, but they went to put them in today and the driver's side bracket's cracked, so now they gotta order a bracket. So he's using a spare until they get that bracket and get it put back together, so. That's about all I have.
Pretty soon it'll be a new car.
The brakes, tires, that's all done.
Well said.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Clerk's report.
Just working on completing the full app for the Mesabi Manor Nursing Home. Everything's done, just need our demo bids from our engineer. He stopped by today and we talked, so hopefully we'll get the full app submitted by Friday. We've got pictures of the falling bricks and the buckling of the walls and everything. Submitted the pre-app for the Seville one, haven't heard back from the IRRB on that one yet. The Whiteside project, they'll be starting on Friday. We'll see some action there on Friday, so. And then working on the city website, I'll be meeting with W.A. Fisher tomorrow morning to get going on updating our website. So, that's about it.
Thank you.
Council addition to the agenda?
No, there is a council edition.
Oh, there is.
An email regarding
This one here.
there's two claims and
Yeah, there's claims too. Oh, that's the same.
Oh, that's why I didn't have it. Taking my,
Oh, I'm left-handed. This right there.
okay. So we'll add the addition to the claims
Yep.
of $90.50.
But this other one have to get on the agenda very soon.
Yeah, we can talk about the Central Sanitary Sewer District. Consent agenda minutes? Oh, citizens forum. I don't think anybody's here just to,
No.
so, consent agenda minutes.
Oh, make a motion to approve the minutes, regular minutes of August 16th.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Claims?
I'll make a motion, we accept the claims for the period 1770.1 and period number 18 for a total of $102,853.52.
Support.
Plus the $90.50.
Yep, support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Jeremy Schwartz, Benchmark Engineering, C&G Warehouse, discussion.
All right, can I preface this a little bit?
You bet.
Jeremy's with Benchmark in the civil work on the site over there. We had attended a meeting with the contractor, Kraus Anderson, on Thursday. The reason I'm prefacing his talk is, he might run me out of here. They can't have this done by 12/31. So I've got a decision to make. Well, I guess maybe you do. If it's not done, I'm running the risk of losing what I put in it.
Right.
And if you change that somehow, they're looking at what they call a substantial completion date of March 15th.
That's what I had heard, it was gonna be March.
How much, like, percentage-wise, do you think? that-
You know, I don't know the answer to that, but they're looking at a final completion date of April, I had it written down here somewhere, 21st. And it's kind of our contract with them is they're penalized if it's not done by then, so it's constant concrete. They're ordering the building this week. So,
Well, Mr. Trotwine, I know
Yes.
you brought us in the paperwork on what you've purchased so far and how much you got invested and your intent money, and I saw that, and I'll tell you what, my feeling is that I would not feel bad at all about extending this for him, because he does have quite a bit of money put into this already. And it's, well, everybody else.
well, I appreciate that, and I would, you know, it's the risk of having all that involved on January 1st, and it's gone. I mean, I have no, you know, it can be gone.
Yeah, when do you plan on breaking ground?
Well, they're having a construction meeting. When was that, the 14th? No, we don't have the building permit. I just found out at this meeting, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to get a plumbing permit, which means it never ends. So we can do dirt work, put the culvert in and stuff like that we're gonna need, but until we get that, we can't put the building in the ground. But they're ordering the building, I think they were gonna order today or tomorrow, and it'll probably take 6 to 8 weeks for it to get here. And they'll be, during that time, the first meeting with the subs and everything is gonna be the 14th, and there's one following up on that, like the 26th or 27th or something like that, to where they ought to be moving dirt. And
September?
of this month. And see, they'll get the building up by the end of the year, and then most of the work will be inside. We're afraid to pour concrete in the middle of the winter. We can do it, but it ends up to be lousy concrete 4 years from now, 5 years from now. But that could be done. The tanks they might be being built, but they'll be sitting out there for a while. And the canopy, I believe, it's been ordered. I don't know if they've started construction on it. It's kind of like the building.
Are you looking at more or less looking at winter construction for that building? You're gonna get everything squared up on the building on the outside and all that done? And then during the winter, be working the inside?
The stuff that you can be doing inside, because we won't be able to put the blacktop on until right at the end. But we could live with that. I mean, we could put pretty tough gravel out there. We've done that before. But, you know, I don't blame you guys for being frustrated with this, but I'm just telling you where I'm at. I gotta make a decision.
I guess I feel the same way as Mr. Matthews, so if you break ground in your building.
I said, it might feel a little different, but I saw what he's already got invested and what the commitment money is.
Right.
When you got it in the paperwork.
It's more than that now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the reason Jeremy is here is, the reason I prefaced him, there's going to be a need to be able to grade off onto some of that city's easement here, but he can explain that to you.
Yes, I got some questions on that too.
You know, I just really don't have a lot of confidence, because it's been so many years that's been held up, and then you've had 2 years and nothing's even started until almost the end of the second year, and all of a sudden, well, we're not gonna have enough time to get this completed, where, you know, we need a little more time, and by March you could have it not completed, but will be mostly completed. I just don't wanna see it drag out indefinitely, because it's dragged out so long already.
The clock's running on the interest now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my insight.
What I want to see, I guess, you know, to go along with this, which I'm hesitant to at this point, but I know you've got a lot of money invested in this, and I wouldn't want to see you hurting that way, but I want some surety for the city's part that this is going to be done, and it's going to be done in a timely way. It's not going to sit there and be piecemealed out and just hopped along. I mean, it's gone.
Could you give me till May 1st?
Well, but I want to see a completion date, you know, complete, what?
May 1st.
May 1st with everything complete,
up and running and,
It'll be open May 1st.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna, I mean, the blacktop might not be there because we've had
Right,
snow. or
right,
something.
I understand
But it'll be
that.
open May 1st.
the business will be operational.
By May 1st.
Or you'll own a gas station.
Okay, all right. If we can have that kind of assurance that this is gonna finally just be done, I think that we owe it to our community to at least kind of hold a fire on this at this point, because it's kind of a late in the game start, but we wish you well, and we want to see this happen for you. Yeah.
Appreciate your patience.
And then, with that being said, then I'll make a motion that we extend the completion date for the business to be up and running by the 1st of May.
I'll support that.
Should we put also the caveat that the asphalt will be laid as soon as possible this next spring?
Well, yes.
Well,
Is that-
we'll be in business. We may not have asphalt there, but I mean, we're gonna do.
Well, we're not gonna have gravel for 10 years, are we?
That's right, good point.
Oh, but it'll be paved next summer. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Well, then Jeremy.
Yeah, well, but that's part of it, we have to do.
Thank you.
We've got a motion on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay.
Did bring a few drawings that hopefully won't fall over.
I think we've got them on a smaller scale in our package. So, and for anybody here who wants to see what the picture is good.
Just the corners. It's just
I see what that red line is.
yeah, rough overview just to kind of give you a glimpse of what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
As he introduced me, I'm Jeremy. I work with Benchmark Engineering. We've been working on this with Phil for quite a while now, and we just realized, this kind of slipped our mind, that we realized that the architect had put together the layout of the building and the parking lots and where they wanted everything and what they wanted. And so when I got the architectural plan, we kind of graded based off of that. We put the sanitary sewer and the water lines in there, and then we realized that the property line, all the actual structures like the curb and gutter and the pavement and the building, all of that's going to be well within the property line.
Right.
And just the grading, you know, when you grade a site, you end up putting your curb and gutter, 2 feet above, your existing ground or something like that.
Right.
And then you have a 3-to-1 slope, which is a pretty standard safe slope, but by the time that earth reaches where it needs to hit the existing ground again, it ended up being outside of the property line. And part of the reason that happened is because that site, the triangle that the property line is actually like a mound.
Right.
And you can tell from the ditches,
Right.
that ditch kind of runs all the way around it.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was tough to kind of get around that unless you do a major change to either the parking lot or you do something else structurally. So we just graded it out, and then we looked into it, and I was talking to my colleagues at work, and in their experience with a city easement or right-of-way, which is what that is, they kind of assured me that it's typically not a big deal. You're not going onto private property, or you're not going onto, if I lose my words, city property. It's a city easement right-of-way.
Right, it's city property.
You know what I mean? So, but anyways, like I said, that's kind of what we're doing, and it's hard to see on that, but if you can see, there's a dashed line that I put on there that basically, along that length of the western edge of the property line, the grading will kind of go anywhere from 15 feet out to almost 30 feet out along that, and that'll just be, like I said, it'll be turf established with grass, and it'll end up, in a couple years, it'll look like everything else around there. Like I said, the curb and gutter and the blacktop will be within, but.
Here's my only question about it, because it is the city easement for behind these lots, and some of these lots are privately owned. Will the city still be able to use the easements to access them from that side?
I believe so. There is another map in there that I do have a few profiles. We can switch to that if you want. It just kind of shows more of a, because I also looked at drainage as an issue because I didn't want to fill in a ditch or anything.
Right.
So right here, what you'll see is These two bottom profiles down here,
Okay,
basically don't encroach onto the city more than 15 to 20 feet.
okay,
But as for access on the easement, there's a stormwater pond that's going to be constructed along that side of the property line. Again, the pond itself will be on their property, but the slope kind of over the berm and the slope will encroach. There's actually a drivable access on that side of the pond. So if city workers needed to access that easement, they can actually stay within that easement and it'll be drivable without going onto private property.
okay.
Okay.
That's my only concern.
The question I got, where you're, on the west side there where you show the sanitary.
Yep.
And then when it parallels with the double lane, okay, it turns here, makes a corner, and then comes towards the new building.
Yep.
The sewer. Right now it's paralleling the double lane there. That hill, where that is, do you realize that there is a fiber optics line there?
I don't think we've done we did do a utility locate. But I mean, we could have missed a fiber if it's outside. Is it outside of the property line?
I would say it's along that. I would say it's right along that easement where you're going to have that last how many feet of sewer before it gets to the property.
Sure. Okay.
It's going to be. That's that where the sewer line is going to be paralleling in 169.
It may not matter, but at our meeting on Thursday when we talked to Kraus Anderson, they did a couple minor changes to the utilities. Instead of the sanitary sewer running into the middle of the building, it'll actually go a little further north. So I'm assuming even with that change, it'll still maybe be a conflict with the fiber optic.
Okay, I guess it would be easier if you'd like to just step over here.
Sure.
I'll show you something. Okay. You show the sewer line coming through here.
Yep.
And coming into here. This corner here, that fiber optics runs along or somewhere.
Oh, okay. We should be well away from it. That sewer line, like I said, is basically going to run right down the middle of that city right-of-way. So if you take the one side of the right-of-way, you'll hit that property corner.
Yes.
Where that fiber is going to be. I believe it's most likely like 30 feet wide. So we should be 15 feet away from that easy.
But I don't have to, I'm sure you're gonna have to find out before you start mucking it.
Yep, and what happens is, we'll do a locate on the site and see if there's any utilities, and then we'll also put caveats on the plans for the contractor to verify in the field before they start construction.
Let's put it this way, it was there 10 years ago. I don't think it's moved, so.
Okay, perfect, yep. If it's along the easement or the right-of-way line, it shouldn't be a problem. The utility should be far enough away. And like I said, when it comes to drainage, I checked the existing and proposed topography, kind of in that whole site. And any water, that's why that stormwater pond is there to collect all the water on the site. And when the water leaves that after it's treated, it can still flow down that ditch to the Highway 169 ditch, and there shouldn't be any issues, even with the slope. So I guess what we're looking for is kind of permission or approval to grade
encroach onto our city property, onto the easement behind the property.
Okay.
Can we do that by regular motion?
To allow the easement, or do you want
I think we need a resolution
a resolution? Okay.
or an ordinance. No, a resolution.
Well, yeah, I kind of think something formal, since we are actually giving permission to move on to city property with some of this. Would be a good way to go anyway, that hard copy and something that lasts, so, yeah, all right. We'll need to put that on to our next meeting. That won't be up.
Actually, the timeline, that will be fine. In 1 month, I don't think they're gonna.
Okay, and I don't think that we have any major issue with that.
We don't have a permit to put sewer in them.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we table this issue until we get a resolution going for this.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right.
Thank you very much. Is that something that you'll handle? Do you need
Yeah,
anything from me in the
we'll-
meantime, or?
We'll take care of that if we have any,
Contact Diane.
Okay.
any questions, we'll get a hold of you or Mr. Troutline.
Would you like me to attend next month too, to answer any further questions or anything like that.
Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay.
Just in case something else.
I might as well just, yep, just in case. Okay.
One of us.
All right.
Okay.
I gotta pay you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Justin, you're finally on. I told you we'd get you on early. Early means a half hour into our meeting, sorry about that.
Well, even though I'm last, I'll keep it short.
Oh, you're far from last. There's
Oh,
plenty more on the.
Oh, okay. So we talked before we met on the ideas of putting these houses up down at the pit there. You know, it would be great to get all the lots for free and go that way, but I know that's not gonna happen. I'm kidding. But
Careful now.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess I've had time to think about it. I don't know if you have. I would, you know, if you guys approved getting one started, and like we talked about, granting the lot until the house was built and accepting pay when it was finished to get one started. I don't know if you've talked to everyone else about that
well,
or not.
I had offered that suggestion, and that would be
If
with
that's an
council's
option.
approval. Instead of having him pay the $5,000 for the lot up front, we would let him use the lot, build the spec house. When he sells the spec house, then he can pay the city back the $5,000 for the lot with the sale of it. That way, it frees up a little more capital for him to move forward and.
Yeah, and it's not even about, I guess, the 5,000, it's just getting it started.
Right.
Someone, like we talked before, I think, if we could get one, if you let me build one there and someone could see the idea or see what's there,
Yeah.
Yep.
the sellable is gonna be a lot more when there's something there than just, because there's a lot of people that just don't have the vision of what can be done down there on that corner.
Right.
And besides that, we can put it on our website too.
Well,
Show
and
house.
with your
Yeah,
willingness to
yeah,
take
you
on
could-
the
you could-
project, it seems that, you know, what we've done with other developers is give them first option to additional lots with a timeline, of
Yeah.
course, you know, to have construction completed within a year on each lot that you would take after that or whatever. So we might look at something like that as well.
Yeah, and that's, if you guys did approve it, I would want to try to build on every lot. I mean, that would be the goal. I wouldn't, you know, because I think, you know, like we talked before, it's, you know, if we get one up and, you know, say we put it on, like you were saying, if we have one to picture, you could put it on a realtor site so people can get an idea and get it, you know, advertised throughout the range, not just in Buhl.
Yep, yep,
So,
That would be the intention.
yep.
and then, you know, if you guys just did approve it, you know, I would go through and spend more time making plans for, you know, how every lot's gonna drain, because all those lots, like we talked before, on the south end where you drive in.
Yes.
All drain into each other, essentially. You got, what's his name's property to the north, or to the west.
Yes.
That's all downhill to the back of those lots.
Right.
So there's a lot more to talk about, obviously, but
Right.
it's whether or not you guys would approve just allowing to get one rolling. And I would put money down. I don't have a problem, you know, if I had to put $1,000 or a couple thousand down and then pay the rest, that's fine too. So,
Well, how about the
I think
everybody else?
if
How do
we
you feel
draw up
about
an
this?
agreement, yeah.
I don't have a problem with him putting this spec home, I guess, but it's kind of sounding to me like you want all the lots. Is
well,
that
if
what
the
I'm-
first one works out, I would make a deal to purchase every single one. That's what I'm saying.
Come with that stipulation.
Would be a yearly plan, so
You can only
each one
buy,
has to.
One at a time.
yeah, or if you buy 3, you got a year to get them all 3 up.
That day that we talked, you said that the most you'd want to try and start would be 2 at a time.
Yeah, well, if we got the first one going, I can do 4 of them a year.
Yep.
In 1 year.
Okay.
So,
As long as you
Instead
can
of-
keep up with the demand, but
Yeah.
if you've got your bunch of lots and you're going full guns and somebody comes in and says, hey, we'd like to buy a lot out there and build on it, we're not gonna say you gotta wait until Justin's done.
Oh, no, I understand that completely.
You know, it's gonna be.
I just don't want someone else to see my idea
And come out
after
there.
it's built and try to
Start
move in on what
developing
my plan is.
Understandable.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
We
exactly.
can protect that, I understand that.
Because, you know, even if I had to put money down on every lot beyond that, if I had to take the whole first, you know, profit of the first house, if it did, which I know it'll work, and put the money down to buy the rest, I mean, you know, whatever you guys would approve, I would
Justin,
deal with.
I think what everybody would probably agree upon here right now is that let's go ahead with the one and
Yep.
see what happens. And then we'll get together with you again, we'll sit down, we'll talk about this.
Well, yeah, that'd be great. I just want you to know my long-term too.
Yes.
So we can talk about it later if it works out, then, you know,
You bet.
when the time comes.
Is that okay with everybody if we do just the one now and see how the spec house goes?
My question would be which lot,
See these two that are circled
But which
here?
one of the two?
Which one of them?
Well, I wanted to do the first lot where whoever was the first one to buy would have one less neighbor. So it'd be either that corner or the corner where you have one opposing.
Do you want the one on the pit side or one on the opposite side of the road?
I'm thinking on the opposite side of the road.
Okay, that back one, okay.
And that would be where Gibson's property is backed up
Yes,
to the west side.
yes.
I'm surprised. I would think that the pit side would be, you know, where you have the view and more to offer on that.
Well, I agree with you too, I don't know, I have a feeling the first person would want, if that one doesn't go, or however it may work, I know I've had tons of positive feedback on getting this done in a reasonable amount of money. And I just have a feeling the first dibs at a lot where you have one less neighbor on the side of you might be an option. Because a lot of people I talk to are afraid of the pit because, and you guys I'm sure have heard over time that people think that pit is gonna be a negative thing, which I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
But there's a lot of people I've talked to that say, oh, you know, that pit, no one in there that retires is gonna wanna move in and listen to kids all summer. So that's the other feedback I've heard.
Yeah.
Whether it's been spoken to at the table here or not,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So in other words, you're gonna, that number 6 lot, which would be the northeast lot, really on that corner.
Yeah.
So what you'll need from us tonight is actually some binding agreement that will give you that lot with you being able to pay for it upon the sale of the property.
Yeah.
So that then you can go.
And I can put money down too. I don't have a problem with that to kind of lock it in. So there's some responsibility on my end because I know how just giving something to someone isn't gonna, I'd feel better actually if I gave you $1,000.
Well,
That's fine too.
and I think that it would also be that stipulation that, you know, would be built within the year.
Yeah.
So. and I know
From the
we talked
date,
about that.
date of breaking ground or from the date of however you guys decide, that's not.
my next question, when do you plan on breaking ground?
Well, if you guys approved, I have jobs right now that I'm trying to finish up. I mean, I would start it as soon as possible. I mean, it could be within the month. So I have 2 guys lined up for concrete that I can, you know, get it going and I would get in there and, you know, take trees down, get the lot.
This is where we'll bring in Mr. Deal on this too. Are you gonna have to have deed for that property in order to start this?
No, we talked before, I thought that
Yes,
the
yeah.
deed would be handed over when it was
When it's complete?
to whoever bought it.
Okay, so we avoid all that other,
Yeah, because then I don't need to be the middleman and take the deed to my name.
Right.
When you could just hand it over to whoever buys it. Or in purchase, I don't know, you know, if
how does
that's.
that work? Is that copacetic with everything or?
Well, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work because you're gonna be selling it to a third party, the finished product. Are we selling the property to the third party? No, I know we're not. And so,
We're selling it to Justin, yeah.
at least I think we at least have to have some sort of an agreement a written agreement, because we are talking about the transfer of some form of the ownership, one of the sticks of the bundle of ownership of the real estate, whether we call it a license or something else, to use the property to build on, and try to encompass the intent of the agreement. And I get the agreement, but I think we're gonna have to have something, I know we're gonna have to have something in writing that evidences the agreement, because we are altering our, we're giving up some of our ownership right to that piece of property.
Right.
Whether we do it for $1,000 or $5,000 or for nothing. And so I think we need to have.
Can we write up something where he puts 1,000 down and upon completion and sale of the property, he'll
pay us.
Pay in full.
Pay the price, right. I think that's right. I think basically it's a purchase agreement.
Okay.
Then if say it didn't sell, and because it didn't sell, you decided to move in.
We could put in the thing that I pay when it's completed, whether it's sold or not.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in the
Once
that
it's
it wouldn't sell,
occupied.
you decide to move in, and you never sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who owns the home that's sitting on the piece of property if it doesn't sell? Because we own the property.
Justin will.
I would own it, but when it's completed, I would have to pay you to own it, the property that it's on, I guess, in some kind of contract.
Okay.
And one other just question, and I'm not, you are licensed and everything in the state, so okay.
So, Mr. Deal, you can draw something up for us on that order?
Yep, I can do that unless Mr. Renner has an attorney who would rather do the initial draft and I review, which would save the city some money.
Well, I could have my stepdad do it. He's retired now, but.
Stepdad's who?
Pat Valentini.
If he's willing to do it.
Yeah, he would do it to save the money. I wouldn't, no problem. I mean.
I guess first thing we'd have to do, we'd have to approve for him going ahead and starting it on this property. He must get started right away.
And what we want in the agreement would be.
I'd like to have him, he can touch base with Diana or Mr. Deal, whatever.
But if we vote to approve all that tonight, then they can put it in the form of writing and he can get going on it.
Right.
I think I'd like to see the agreement once he gets it written.
Oh yeah, we'll look at it and
approve that.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks. Will that be all right, Justin?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I want to hear feedback from you guys. This is something that, I obviously want to succeed. I don't see it not.
Right.
But I need to hear feedback. Well, who's got positive, who's got negative on what I got going here.
I think that we're all pretty happy to have somebody interested and willing to take on a project out there, because I do think it'll be successful too. What we're gonna do though tonight is agree to what we wanna see happen, but then in 2 weeks when we have the draft that either your
go over it again
or Mr. Deal, our attorney, one of you draws up, then we'll vote on that draft when we have the hard copy, and then you're good to go.
Yep, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Do you have a vision or a plan of what the house will look like?
Yeah, he showed us some houses.
I brought just the one that they liked, but these two and a couple layouts, they were 15 to 2,000 square feet, but this was one street view, and this was another, not 2-story. This roof design would be on a 1-story. I couldn't get to find a picture, and then the layout, this was one that I looked at that fits on those lots that works, and this was another one that had a back garage, because the lots aren't very wide, they're only 100 wide. So, you're dealing with 60 feet wide with your garage, you only got 15, 20 feet on each end.
Now, Justin, there won't be basements, right? You're gonna put them on a
slab on grade.
And then
heated slabs, all the proper drainage, drain tile, whatever all the lots slope the way they're supposed to be if it gets going, and But I have some other ideas too, on the roof design, but all of them will, basically I'm trying to push a single, a vaulted ceiling to give the house a bigger look, but still be one level. And, you know, you just don't see those around here. Anything with because that roof design can be a little more, it can be spendy, well, it is. It's more expensive and it's more labor intensive, but it just makes the house look as if it's not a ranch. And
You were, if you'd like to tell them too, you figured what would be the cost of the home when it was complete?
I was figuring that I could get them done anywhere from 165 to 180. For the first, I'm gonna be taking that out of my labor. You know, if the way I look at it is, if I can build the first one and cover my expenses to make sure, you know, that's my goal. You know, if I can pay myself a wage, get it built, and if there's profit at the end, great. If there isn't, at least there's one that was hopefully sold, and we can see what, you know, what kind of feedback it gets when it's standing there. And I had other ideas with, you know, putting some nice brick, you know, structures outside of entering it on the side where the tennis courts are, or the basketball courts, where they pull in, and having on both ends some kind of, you know, structures with whatever development or whatever it may be, something making them feel a little more warm and fuzzy pulling into their new house. So,
you got any more questions?
I think we'll need to have a motion with what exactly we are going to agree to do then. And that would be on lot number 6 on block 1 with $1,000 down and $4,000 to be paid upon completion. And
Purchase agreement.
that would be part of that. But that's what it's gonna say in the purchase agreement. Those are gonna be kind of the terms of it.
yeah.
Okay, and then
And have a year to complete?
1 year to
From the
complete.
start of construction.
From the start of construction, well, this contract from the. From the
Start of the contract?
Yes,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can wait a year and
don't start construction for 10 years.
364 days.
Yeah,
Start.
yeah,
It'll be the same stipulation like we had like on Mueller, Eastern Rural.
right. Right, we just don't want to see it sit and kind of languish out there once you get going. But I have a feeling you'll have it done in no time.
Oh, yeah, that would be not a problem. Building the house is the easy part. It's the, you know, getting people to see and getting, like I said, the feedback from all of you, you know, does this sound like a silly idea? I know you built that whole area to sell houses.
Right.
But, you know, at the same time, I want someone to tell me if there's a negative. I mean, is there anyone that because, you know, if it's gonna be said, let's hear it now.
No, and in fact, you know, Justin, you are taking a gamble because it has sat for a while.
Yeah.
I think it'll pay off, but I think as part of that gamble, it's only fair that we also offer you the option first option to buy additional properties out there. So if somebody else comes and they're interested, we'll ask you, do you want this? Are you gonna build on it? If you do, you've got a year to get it completed. So
And is that something you wanna put in this
I think it should
agreement?
be in this agreement. I think that's only fair.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I worry about is if
Yes.
someone gets
Exactly.
the idea
We
and
saw
someone
it
that
with our other
may have more money than me comes in and hires another guy to build these things, you know, I'm the guy building it, developing, so.
Right.
And it's all me on this. I'm not going to someone else as an investor or, you know, it's kind of
Right.
out of my pocket right now.
He said what he's gonna do, what he can do for the construction, get the house done, get that all done, and more or less winter construction and on
Right.
all the
Get the
inside stuff.
outside shell done before the snow flies and then have an indoor
But
project.
I'm so glad this is recorded. Did anybody remember that whole thing for that motion?
I don't know, but also move.
Can we pick up all that information off the recording?
I have it written down.
I guess my only concern, and I'm not trying to
No, we need to
take
have
anything
it.
away from you, or I don't agree that somebody should be able to come and another developer and buy up all the rest.
Yeah.
But my concern is that we may have a citizen or even somebody from a neighboring town that is not a developer that just wants to buy one lot and build their home or
That's fine,
have their
too.
contractor.
You know.
I just don't want them people not to be able to do that.
Understand that.
I think they would be able to, Paul, and just because with this many lots, Justin's only gonna be able to put money down and promise to have it built in a year on so many. He's not gonna be able to say, okay, I'm gonna buy every, you know.
Yeah, I just don't have the manpower to do it.
No.
But,
That's my only concern.
no, and I agree with you, because if someone comes in and they don't know me from Adam, and they have someone that they've had in mind to build a house for 10 years, and finally they're doing it, that's, what, you don't wanna take that away from them. But at the same time, if we get it done and I guess it just, we'll see where it goes and time will tell.
Right.
I'll support Stuart's motion.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
I
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, Justin, if you want to contact the city and get exactly what it is, I think that Diana will have something written up for you that you could present to your father-in-law, or we'll have our city attorney, stepfather, whoever, to draw this up. And then we'll vote on that at our next meeting.
Okay, and that's a month from now, or?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Did I get back those other drawings? I don't want to lose them.
Yeah, they're right here. Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Just let Justin have Paco call me.
Okay, what was your name?
I'm Todd Deal.
Todd Deal? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Am I good to go?
You're good, Justin. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. 2017 budget meeting dates. The city is required to hold public meetings for taxes payable in 2017 and to provide notice in order to be compliant with the truth in taxation law. So our TNT hearing dates are, all the meetings will be at 6:30 PM, Tuesday, October 4th, Tuesday, October 18th, Tuesday, November 1st, Tuesday, November 15th, and the final public hearing of the TNT is Tuesday, December 6th. Tuesday, December 20th is certification of the final budget and tax levy. Can I have a motion to approve these dates for our meetings?
I'll make that motion.
support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Oh, we've got our heat share program with the Salvation Army. We've been doing this every year for a very long time.
Many years.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we go with the Salvation Army heat share agreement.
Any further discussion?
Everybody get
All in
yourself.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Bus garage roof drain. This came up at our last meeting.
Yes. It's part of our I&I issue.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of bids and our local bid is substantially less.
Is there a plan for that and actual, so is this apples to apples?
Yes.
It is.
I assume by this that we also, the library hadn't been started yet.
The library will be started next,
This weekend, is it this week?
late this week.
Okay.
And who got the one for the library?
The same.
Chris.
Henson Plumbing.
Oh, okay. He's definitely.
And they're licensed and everything. I mean, I've never heard of them, that's all.
Yeah, no, he's a licensed plumber.
Yep. Now, we've got monies to pay for this.
We will find the monies. We have money in capital.
Okay.
We can't take it out of sewer.
Well, I'll make a motion that we go with a bid of $6,800 for the repair of the garage roof.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Did you hear back today at all from,
No, I've talked and left about 4 messages, and I've talked to him twice, and I've never been able to get an answer on what it would cost to auction off property.
Do they go by their normal percentage?
He wanted to take a look at the property, and he was trying to get out there, and I don't know if he did. I talked to him, emailed him once, talked to him 3 times, and I left 3 messages.
So he has death in the family?
Yeah, his father passed. So I know they've been really busy.
Which way do you think is gonna be better? Have a sealed bids or do an auction?
well, sealed bid would definitely be a cheaper way to go, whether you would get more people. The only thing I can say to that is when we had a sealed bid up here, we had somebody who paid quite a bit more than anybody else had offered for a piece of furniture. And I know if it had been an online auction, we never would have got what we got.
No.
But that being said, it's the only way we've ever done it, I think, is through closed bid.
Unless you wanna wait till next meeting to make the final decision on it and see if Mr. Oldfeld gets back to us.
That would be nice.
You know, it's whatever you think.
Well, we
Be nice
have
to
to
get it
get a
going.
certain amount, right?
Yes.
Correct? So
Yes.
it'll be,
Whatever the minimum
Yeah.
bid, whatever we would decide a minimum
Above
bid would have to
this,
be. And we could try that on a closed bid. If we said how much we definitely want to see us get
Yeah.
in return for that land, and if we don't get any bids within a, whatever time frame, then we'll go to overcall and try the other way. We could do it that way too. Just depends on what you guys think.
either way, we'd have to have a minimum bid.
Right.
Right.
And what were we looking for in a minimum bid? 5?
Was it 50?
Well, we'll have an estimated
Yeah,
4,200 into it.
right.
Right.
The county values it, the land at 4,700. That's without that other additional piece that
Without the
Pete has
pieces we took
swapped.
off. Yeah, and the right-of-ways and the pieces that were carved out, but yeah, I think 5 is,
5, and we'd also have to let it be known that the person, whoever, if it does go, that they are responsible for their own water and sewer hookups.
yeah.
Okay.
Get that part done.
And I think we should also have in there that they have to build within a certain amount of time,
Again, the same thing.
just to get it on the
Stipulation.
tax roll.
Within a year of purchase, that's usually a year is what we do, I think.
Like I say, the other ones, I know on Miller, they had a year to start the construction. Once they started construction, then it was a year from the start of the construction to be completely finished.
Oh, okay.
And that included landscaping, and that included sod, that included everything that was.
Yeah, basically, it
So
could be
it's
2 years. Yeah.
But this land has sat there for.
Which, yeah, I mean, I guess
This is not a memorial.
With no interest.
I'm open to either selling it sealed or whatever, that may get more selling in an open auction, but you also have
Flip
the
of a
fees.
coin. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't know.
would be good to get it done with. It's been going on long enough, a year and a half, but whatever you guys think.
Do we give him
Till the next
another
meeting.
week or until the next meeting?
One more time.
What's the date today?
Today's the 6th.
6.
And
So the 20th is there, okay.
it's been a couple of weeks, well, since our last meeting.
It was our last meeting. Yeah, I contacted him the day after our last meeting.
Well, like you say, it's been sitting there this long. Let's
2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Let's do more. Okay. What do you think?
Fine, 2 more weeks, other than 2 weeks.
But if we don't hear nothing back,
then we'll-
Yeah.
if we don't hear
Forward.
by then, well, then the heck with it.
Okay.
I sure wouldn't see that he would give us I would think that it would cost more to go with an online auction, and then you are taking your chances because.
So can we,
But you can set.
You'd have a minimum bid for
Right,
an auction
but it would be
too.
the same minimum bid as if we did it with a closed bid. So
Well,
what we could do is do a closed bid for a month. And if we don't hit the minimum bid, then have him put it on an auction. Now, if he auctions it and it doesn't sell, is there a fee?
I would think so. I
there
think there'd be,
probably is normally, unless he would make some,
I think usually there's like a base fee and then a percentage of
Yeah.
whatever, how much it sells for.
I mean, he did a nice thing for the city when he put those signs out advertising citywide rummage sale.
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah?
If it sells, he'd get his commission, and if it didn't, well, we're all.
Right.
That's probably the way.
You could go either way with this, where you can try one, and if it doesn't work, go the other way.
But could we, I guess that wouldn't matter.
Well, should we give it till the next meeting then, and we'll see if Oberfall, if he wants to make an offer as to how he would present it? We can look at it at the next meeting.
I'll make a motion that we table this till the next meeting.
Support.
My only, if he comes back and he says, this is what it's gonna be and this is what it's gonna cost, is that gonna sway us one way or the other?
It might say, no, we're not gonna
We don't have to do it, yeah.
We'll seal bid.
Okay, all right.
You know,
Okay,
that's the.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And now, Stuart, you want to serve on the Central Sanitary Sewer District?
Oh, yes, if nobody else wants to, and I've kind of thought before that, you want to have one elected official on that board and one of our public works. So, since Denny Marks resigned, I'm willing to take the,
Does that term end at the end of this year?
I think that ends this year.
Yes.
So we're just talking a few months. It would give you a chance to see what you think about it and
Get your feet wet.
how that goes. I don't know when John's term ends, if his is also at the end of the year?
No, I think his goes another year.
Okay.
I'd have to double check though.
I have a question on John. Wasn't Trent supposed to be taking over that position on that board?
According to the sanitary sewer district, you have to live in the town that you're representing.
That's the only requirement.
So that's why Trent can't serve on it.
Yeah. So,
I think having one of our elected officials on the board would be.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Councilor Lehman to the Sanitary District Board.
Support.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Congratulations.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Aye.